Coach, sometimes when it snowballs like that, people want to say that UTSA is down and out, but on the flip side, is it still enthusiastic that this team says, hey, look, we're still looking for our first one, let's go get it?
Well, let's go get it. We are down, there's no doubt about it. You can't lose like that and not be down. I tell you, and I told our players this, and I believe this, we're a lot better football team than we were Saturday. You know, but you can't turn the football over. You look at the turnovers, not only turnovers, but turnovers for touchdowns, turnovers in bad field position. And again, we coach against it every day about protecting the football. We've got to do a better job of that.
For the fans that saw a lot of Stern or Dalton, you still move forward with Blake as your number one?
We do, but I like what I saw with Dalton. I kind of have liked that. He's a young man that's got a quick release. He's got really good feet. He can run, and he's accurate. So he's got some good, very, very positives.
I heard you mention over there that teams may see UTSA on their schedule and say, with the way things have gone, we should beat these guys. Can your players take that personally and say, let's not let that be the case at all?
Well, you know, we don't think of ourselves that way. We don't think of ourselves as a cupcake and also ran. Now, look at the scores, sometimes it may seem that way, but we don't think of ourselves that way. I know just talking to Mike Gundy, Mike felt really good about coming out of the game, of course with a huge win, but also it felt like we were the best team they've played so far. And obviously, I think we were, but we didn't play it on Saturday.
What about Colorado State a little bit this evening on their record? As you mentioned, they played two good Power 5 teams in overtime.
Well, they do, and that's the thing. It's I'm looking for a cupcake, but Colorado State is not one of those. And they're a good football team. They're very physical, well coached. It's going to be really a tough challenge for us. And main thing we've got to do, we've got to get our act together. We haven't done that. We've turned the ball over, made mistakes, and allowed teams to win. For us to win, we can't be, I will say, the mistake-free. We've got to make sure we're doing our job.
After Dalton led that touchdown drive, Blake was one of the first to high-five him, to congratulate him, to fire him up. What does that say about Blake?
Well, I think it says a lot about our team. We're a close football team. We care about each other. And that's why, for me, I want to see this team do well. I obviously want to see your team do well because you want to win. But for these guys, we got great young men. I want to see them do well.
I know you talked about it with the guys, but can you update us on Drew Douglas?
Drew hopefully will play this Saturday. Of course, missed the game last week. Dalton Miller did a great job filling in for him, but I'll tell you, Drew, we miss him. He's one of our outstanding football players, a leader, a tough guy. Don't know yet, but I'll know early in the week whether he'll be back.
What are the positives that you take away from that game, if there are any?
You know, let me think. Well, there are some. You know, there's always some good and bad. But I think the good, again, is what we saw with Dalton Miller. We like that. And also, I really liked the situation we had with Jarvion. Jarvion did probably his best game since he's been here running the football. We saw some good things on our defensive front. And I like some things about it. Again, not enough.
Go back to Blake and his play on Saturday. What were the conversations like between you and him after the game was over?
Well, I think we started off a little shaky. And I think, again, you look and for our whole football team, you're down 14 points, and the clock hasn't even warmed up yet. And that's the thing that we can't allow to happen. We're not good enough to do that. Again, we've got to make sure to take care of the football, make sure and do the things we need to do to win. Blake is a good football player, but again, he's a freshman. And we got to make sure to know that, but we got to bring him along. We can't use that as an excuse. If he's a freshman, yes, but he's also a starting quarterback.
Is his leash a little bit shorter as you move forward into the season, or is it going to be the same as it has been so far?
Well, we're not going to put a leash on guys, but I think, again, we're going to play the best players and give ourselves the best chance to win. Again, Dalton Stern did a nice job, and he deserves some playing time, so we'll see how the week progresses.
What have you learned about your young football team in these 3 games?
Well, the thing I learned is we're a young football team. And, again, we're playing really good competition, which we knew that before the season started, the 3 top 25 teams. And what I know is I still think that we can be a good football team, but somehow as coaches, and I put that on my responsibility, we've got to make sure our guys believe that and know that.
Kind of go back to the schedule a little bit. Obviously, that's been a bone of contention for a lot of folks. And what are the, is there, can you take something out of these? You've got one more, obviously a tough game against Colorado State, but can you take something away from this and as you get into conference play?
Well, again, we're playing good competition. We know that. For us to, we need to realize that we can't make mistakes and win. So we've got to take that with us. And again, do you wish the schedule were easier? Let's wish that we were better. Let's do what we can do to get better. If we do that, we'll be fine.
And a little bit more about Colorado State. Obviously, a home game. It'd be I would think pretty good to get back to home here and play at the Alamo Dome on Saturday.
Well, really good at the Alamo Dome. We love the Alamo Dome. We got great fans, and I think what we want to do is we want to win for our fans in the Alamo Dome. It's one thing to be back home, but it's much better to win at home, right?
Yes.
Do you think it was a surprise to Blake to be benched, or was it kind of understood that if he had a game like that or a quarter like that, that might happen?
Well, I don't know if it's a surprise or not, but again, you make decisions, and sometimes, the other young man needs a chance, and sometimes you just need to kind of catch your breath a little bit. You know, when things aren't going well, and I think they weren't going well the other day at times, you need to catch your breath and press on.
What do you want to see from him against Colorado State?
I want to see confidence. I want to see him have a great week of practice, and our players believe in him. They know what he can do, and so we got to press on from that.